This is WENY News at 11.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Asha McKenzie. Thanks for choosing WENY News at 11. If someone rings your doorbell claiming they're with a certain company or organization, you may want to think twice. One local family learned that the hard way. WENY's Leanne DeRosa joins us live in the studio with more. Leanne?
Asha, they could claim they're from a utility company, the IRS, or really any organization, but be careful because it could be a scam. And that's what happened to a family in Southport.
Outside, clearing snow from the driveway, and one of the gentlemen ran up the street to him, told him there was a water main break and that it would affect his water service.
This had Doug Stoddard's elderly parents inviting a man who claimed to work for a utility company into their home. Stoddard's father was downstairs talking with one man while a second man entered the home and ran into Stoddard's mother upstairs. They say the whole time the two men played their part, checking the pipes and the water flow, but they had a hidden agenda.
It became pretty apparent that they were not really there for that. You know, it became pretty apparent that they were there because they did also ask questions about, I have a $100 bill. Can you make change for that so I can compensate you for your time for us bothering you? What kind of drugs are you taking? Are you expecting company? Because we're parked in the driveway and we don't want to be in anybody's way, but they didn't have a vehicle.
Stoddard says after about 20 minutes, his father could tell something was up and decided to call the water board, which scared the men away. That's when they knew it had to be a scam. Chemung County Under Sheriff Bill Schramm says this is not uncommon.
Sometimes we've had people come to the front door, distract the homeowner. They seem to target the elderly, especially people that live alone. They may even try to get them outside the house to show them something. And while they're doing that, distracting them, somebody else will make entry into the home to steal property.
So next time an unknown person rings your doorbell, keep this in mind.
And just challenge them. Ask them for the proper credentials or a number to contact to ensure that they are who they say they are. And if that seems to send them on their way, suddenly that's a good clue that they're up to no good, and then you should be focused in on getting a good description of the person.
Stoddard says the suspects did not have any distinguishable characteristics, but they were both Caucasian men with dark hair who appeared to be in their 40s. One was a little bit heavier and one had glasses, and they weren't wearing any uniforms. In the studio, Leanne DeRosa, WENY News.
Well, the clouds continue to thicken up across the Twin Tiers tonight, and low pressure continues to develop over the Mid-Atlantic region, and it'll continue to intensify as it moves over open water and lifts up towards the north and east. So we're keeping a close eye on the radar maps tonight, and we're on the northwestern fringe of this storm system. Some moderate snow now breaking out right along Interstate 80 over central areas of Pennsylvania. And this is pulling up towards the north and east, but it's running into some drier air. So we're starting to see some scattered flurries here over southern areas of Tioga and Bradford counties. And this will tend to fill in a little bit more here over the next hour or so. But there's going to be a sharp cutoff between the southern tier with only a coating to 1/4 of an inch to 1 to 2 inches over parts of the northern tier here as we go through the overnight period. 37 our high today, a low of 5. Sunrise tomorrow morning at 7:28. Looking at fair skies at the airport in Big Flats, 28 degrees. Pressure is beginning to fall off a bit. Mid-20s in Corning, 27 right now in Ithaca. Looking at 25 in Erin and 31 in Lakemont. So tonight settling down into the low and mid-20s. Light snow is possible, especially over the northern tier and just over the border in parts of the southern tier as well. Light snow showers giving way to limited sunshine for tomorrow. We do hit 36 for the 5-degree guarantee, and it looks like colder temperatures for the second half of the weekend. Details in just a few minutes.
All right, thank you, Joe. Well, an accident in Corning involving a woman pushing a child in a stroller is still under investigation. According to the Corning Police Department, a 29-year-old woman was crossing Denison Parkway when a pickup truck hit her and the stroller. The woman was airlifted to Robert Packer with possible fractured ribs and bruises. The 3-year-old child had scrapes and bruises as well. Police say the driver was not injured and was cooperative. A man who admitted to locking a girl in a cage in his Bradford County home was sentenced yesterday. Richard Frankenfield will serve a maximum of 23 months in jail for locking a young girl in a homemade cage over the course of several years. Frankenfield pleaded guilty last month to recklessly endangering another person. Him and his wife, Mary Beth, were charged in 2013 with child abuse. The couple locked the child in a cage inside of a closet in their Dewshore home. telling police they did it because the young girl has cerebral palsy. 2 more jurors have been seated in the Cal Harris murder trial. Our media partner, the Star-Gazette, reports attorneys on both sides agreed on the new jurors on the second day of selection in Schoharie County Court. So far, 6 jurors have been seated for Harris's 3rd trial, which is expected to span 6 to 8 weeks. Harris allegedly killed his estranged wife, Michelle Harris, on September 11, 2001 in Tioga County. Neither a murder weapon nor Michelle's body has been found. Jury selection continues Monday. Don't steal or you'll get caught. That message comes from Preet Bharara, the U.S. District Attorney in Southern New York. Yesterday, he announced federal corruption charges against one of the most powerful politicians in New York State, Sheldon Silver. The New York State Assembly Speaker is accused of taking millions in bribes and kickbacks. If convicted, Silver could face 100 years in prison, but the politician vows he will be vindicated. Bharara says the FBI has tools to catch people committing crimes. He had a message to other politicians in power.
Law enforcement will use every aggressive tool at our disposal: wiretaps and confidential informants and undercover agents and stings.
Silver is known as one of 3 men in a room in New York State politics who control bills and budgets. The other 2, the Senate President and Governor Andrew Cuomo. Several Finger Lakes lawmakers sent a letter earlier this month asking the state gaming board to deny a commercial casino license for Lago Resort and Casino. The planned Seneca County Casino was recently selected to be one of 4 full-fledged casinos in the state. According to our media partner, the Star-Gazette, part of the January 10th letter says, quote, placing Lago in the middle of the Finger Lakes gaming and racetrack, Turning Stone Resort Casino, Vernon Downs, Batavia Downs, and multiple Seneca Nation casinos will negatively impact them all. The Gaming Commission is in the process of completing background checks of selected applicants. Well, the first arena in Elmira was filled with something besides cheering hockey fans this evening: wine and lots of it. Tonight kicked off the 14th annual Wine on Ice event. 30 wineries from around the southern tier gave out samples and sold bottles of their wine in hopes of promoting their wineries in the Finger Lakes region. But it wasn't just wine. More than 40 of the vendors are selling items like cheeses, olive oil, cigars, and jewelry.
It's something to utilize this space. The First Arena is a great space to have here in the community, and unfortunately if there's not a hockey game, it kind of sits empty for a little while. So this is just another way to use this space, another event for the community to bring people together, especially in the wintertime when a lot of people kind of get cabin fever.
If you missed tonight, no worries. 2 more tastings will take place tomorrow from 1 to 4 and then again from 6 to 9. If you haven't gotten your tickets yet, you can purchase them on wineonice.com or in front of the First Arena at the box office. Coming up, personal information you gave when signing up for Obamacare may have been shared. We'll tell you more. And here's a look at our Crystal City Skycam in Centerway Square. Joe has the weather right